Welcome to this week's OK at Work with myself, Sarah Sawyer, and my colleague, Russell Berger, both attorneys at Offit Kurman. And today we are talking about the Federal Trade Commission's final rule banning non-competes, which we've talked about on OK at Work before, but it's still a very hot and big topic. Right now, the ban is set to take effect in September 4th, I believe. But there has been, just in time for the July 4th holiday last week, we had some news out of Texas, which is where one of the cases is pending, challenging this final rule. So what is the latest update, Russell?
Yeah, so one of the federal district courts in Texas entered a preliminary injunction against the FTC against enforcing the non-compete ban, but specific to the plaintiffs in that case. So not a nationwide ban, not something that gives all employers protection, but just to the parties in that case. But crucial, I think, in that ruling is that the court found that there was a likelihood of success on the merits for the plaintiffs, the parties, the employer and the Chamber of Commerce that had joined that case, challenging the non-compete ban. Court found, effectively said, I don't think this is going to be enforceable. I'm going to enter a preliminary injunction as it pertains to the parties in this case exclusively. However, I'm going to enter a final decision on the merits. Prior to that September 4th date, the court actually said by August 30th. So we're going to get a decision in that case on the merits, final, going through the whole injunctive relief process in about 7-8 weeks. And, we'll know a lot more then. But so unfortunately, this ruling doesn't do anything to fully alleviate the burden on employers across the country right now, but it does at least give an indication as to how at least one court's looking at it.
Yeah, and it bumps this into the news again, so definitely is keeping this top of mind. And even though it's not changing anything, I think it's just definitely important that employers continue to monitor the situation. Obviously, it is evolving, and I'm sure we'll be getting more news as these things unfold. So yeah, definitely something to continue to watch and just be really thoughtful. I think if you're going to put a non-compete in place right now in this crazy environment, it's even more important to be really paying attention to things and really decide if that's really something that is worthwhile doing, because it might be something you have to unwind in a very short order. And it's not something, non-competes are something for a while. I know that we've been encouraging employers to be really thoughtful about their approach, consider things like non-solicits, confidentiality, other types of, IP protections, other types of things. I think that's definitely still the way to go in this current environment for sure.
Yeah, now we may get a ruling from this court that expands this when it gets to the permanent injunction level. May expand it or find the law void, and that may apply to all employers. There's another case proceeding in a federal court in Pennsylvania that could reach similar conclusions or broader conclusions than what the court in Texas has done thus far. So there's still some possibility that we will get a clear ruling for employers nationwide before September. I'm kind of in the same boat of like, let's keep an eye on it. Let's keep monitoring it. If you have non-competes in place, I would not, tear them up just yet. I wouldn't send notices to employees just yet. I would continue to kind of carry on in the way we've been doing. But like we said, probably a month ago, make sure that you know what your options are and you have a plan. And doing that strategic work, I think, should be happening now. I think execution should wait until we get clarity from the courts.
Yeah, well said. And another just kind of thing to keep in mind in closing is, even if we do get this clarity that employers would love to have, if this ban is struck down, if we end up with a nationwide injunction, or we get some type of really clear direction, that doesn't change that court by court and state by state, that there's still a lot out there as it relates to non-competes and enforceability, and it regardless of how this goes, that all is still in the background. So still never going to be a simple issue no matter what, I don't think.
Yeah, well, the only way it gets simple is if the FTC rule does come into effect and wipes it all out. But
Yeah.
short of that, it will be nuanced and require a fair amount of thought.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Russell. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Sarah.